Right, the record reflect we are back in session. Parties counsel are present, all members of our jury are present, our witnesses back on the witness stand, and Mr. Mullany, they can continue their examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Stutchman, we were marking these exhibits, and these are still photographs, as you indicated, of the, what you understand, video and photographs taken by the Sheriff's Department on October 15, 2014.
Correct.
Okay. Now, counsel asked you on cross-examination last week regarding the fact that there was color in some of your exhibits or photographs and things of that nature. Do you recall that?
Objection, this state's testimony.
Overruled.
Okay, so I'm going to show you exhibit 1136A on the overhead. We dim the lights a little, so maybe. Let's see if I can. Does that, do you know what we're looking at here?
I do know what you're looking at, but it's so dark you can't see the body.
Okay. Is that better? No? Okay, what is exactly is it that we're...
This is the front lights, front end of the truck that used to belong to Mr. Merritt.
Okay.
And these are the headlights, and these are the, what we've been calling driving lights beneath the headlights. And the
Okay.
point is how much wider these are than the headlights. And this was a color picture. The next one,
And you removed the color, is that correct?
and the next one.
Okay, so this is 1141. For the jurors on the overhead, it's going to look the same, right? Because we can't really...
Maybe.
Okay.
So what I did was I reduced the saturation to turn that picture that was color into black and white. And the reason for that is to make any difference how clearly you see these lights. And the answer is no.
I'm going to show you exhibit. I'm going to pass these around to the jurors so they can actually see the photograph. You get a better handle on it. But just for now, 1135A. What are we looking at here?
1135A is a still image from the video that we played earlier this week. And the headlights and the driving lights on both sides.
And
Well, that's
1140.
really not a good image.
About 1140.
This is the same picture, except I've decreased the saturation to 0, so it becomes black and white. There wasn't much color in it to begin with.
Regardless of, obviously this is not the greatest quality with the overhead here, but what is consistent with that is the difference in the headlight and that.
Objection, leading.
Sustained.
What is the difference that you can see between the headlight and the bottom running
Well,
light?
the bottom one is much wider than the headlight.
Okay. Okay. You can sit down, Mr. Stutchman. With the court's permission, if I could just pass these around to the jurors so they could actually see the photographs.
Sure.
In those photographs that we just saw, you indicated the contrast between the headlight and that light underneath.
Yes.
Now, would it be did you want to show the actual Mitchley video?
Yes.
So you could demonstrate to the jury part of your analysis?
Yes.
Okay.
Object, this is cumulative.
Sustained.
In the Mitchley video, when we looked at the Mitchley video last week and you actually did it, you were kind of going frame, not actually every single frame, but you went through portions of that video, is that correct? At any point in that, viewing that video, whether it was frame by frame or actually watching it all the way through, did you see the contrast between the headlight and that running light underneath?
Objection, cumulative.
Overruled.
No, it's dark where the running light would be.
Was that a factor in your analysis?
Yes,
And did you use that as a factor to exclude Mr. Merritt's truck?
Objection
Yes.
cumulative.
Overrule the answer, I mean.
yes,
So that would have been your second factor of exclusion, is that correct?
yes,
Objection cumulative.
Overrule the answer, I mean.
Now, in reviewing the McStay video, counsel just on cross-examination today mentioned again that the light, the side marker light on the video that we see in the McStay video disappears for, he says, 4 frames, I think you said.
about a third of a second.
Okay. And is that a result of any type of reflection activity?
No,
Objection calls for speculation.
Overruled again, offers opinion.
no, from my analysis, it's a result of compression artifacts.
Is it possible to view the McStay video and describe what you're talking about, compression
Yes.
artifacts?
When lossy video compression is part of a video, it actually decreases the fine data in some areas, and it leaves compression artifacts, which I'll be showing you, that are like dancing pixels.
Now, Mr. Liscio also talked about the compression artifacts in the McStay video as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Can we have the lights down so that
You want to be on it.
it shows it on the screen? Okay, start again. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is play it, and in the dark areas here, watch for what looks like dancing pixels. See these areas here that look like dancing pixels? Those are compression artifacts.
So is there a way to do it wider and then point out where you see the compression artifacts?
Yes, okay, I'm going to do it frame by frame. So here's where the side light is seen, and then look, we see these artifacts. They're visibly there, and then follow this one. That becomes a light. So the light is actually there. It's just masked by the artifacts.
And is that would be common in a situation where you have a lower quality surveillance
Or
video?
you have a lossy compression video.
And can you explain, what is that?
Lossy compression means you're losing some quality by compressing it. The reason for compression is to reduce the size of the file size of the video so you can store more on a single hard drive without taking up the whole space. So they use lossy compression that makes the file size smaller, but you also lose quality because of it.
Is that a situation when you have surveillance video that's running continuously with lots of video being shot?
Yes, very, very common.
You would want to compress it into a file that could be stored so you can store more of it.
Or stored or streamed.
Okay. Are you done showing that?
Yes, I am.
So is it your opinion that that light doesn't, it's masked by the compression artifacts at that stage?
That's correct.
Okay. Nothing further.
Anything on reprise?
Briefly, can you pull up 1092, I believe, it's your measurement exhibit? So we can all see it? That'll work, 1090 will work.
Okay.
That'll work. Can you make that full screen for me?
Well, that didn't work. I pushed the F5, which is supposed to do that.
back one. There you go. Thank you. You said you created a custom scale to do those measurements?
Yes,
in,
that's correct.
Adobe Photoshop, right?
Yes.
Did you do anything to intrinsically or validate those measurements with other objects within the video?
No, we just did this.
So, were you familiar with Mr. Licio's testimony where he used the Faro scan to overlay with the suspect video to verify position, heights, locations, etc.?
Generally, I don't know specifically what you're talking about.
You did nothing to verify with any other material to indicate that those measurements were accurately reflected on as you put them on here, correct?
Correct, they were sufficient as we did them.
So you did not verify the height of that headlight being the range that we've already talked about a couple times with, let's say, the fire hydrant?
No, the fire hydrant was not on the same plane, it would not have been usable.
But you would agree in the Faro scan, you can get an accurate measurement of the height of that fire hydrant, correct?
Correct.
And in relation to the headlights, that would show you some internal validation of whether or not your measurements were accurate, correct?
Correct.
But you did not do that in this case.
Correct.
Can I see the photos you just marked, please? Oh, the jurors still have them. You would agree in 1135A, if I can have overhead please, Mr. Jackson. And 1140, that the parking light or driving light is starting to blend with the headlight, correct?
Yes.
And you agree that the Mitchley video is very low quality, correct?
Yes.
It's taken from a considerable distance, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Much further distance than this photo, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
And you would agree that the headlights in the Mitchley video are quite washed out. They have, you called it a glow.
In some frames. It's only some frames.
But you do not have that same glow in these photographs, do you?
Well, you don't have, yeah, you're correct.
And any adjustments you could make to the color of these still photographs were done with 2019 technology, correct?
Yes.
On a 2014 video, correct?
No, I just used the still images from the video.
Hold on, I had some talking behind me. What was that, sir?
I just used the still images from the video.
Correct, and that video was taken in 2014.
Yes, that's correct.
Correct. And that was done in color with a totally different camera, right?
Correct.
At a closer angle,
Correct.
at a closer distance.
Yes.
So in no way really would accurately reflect the quality or characteristics of the Mitchley video camera, correct?
What?
Correct?
Not necessarily. You've got, detail is detail, whether it's the Mitchley video or whether it's this vehicle.
You would agree that a 2014 camera will give you a better detail than a 2010 porch camera, right?
Yes.
Did you add the same level of graininess, or as you call it, compression artifacts, to any of these exhibits to try to replicate what was seen in the Mitchley video?
No, this was just to remove the color because it would come up under cross-examination.
I have nothing further. Thank you.
Anything on now, reread,
Regardless of anything that council has said, whether the light would started to blend or what have you, the fact that that running light extends out below, was that a factor?
Yes,
Why?
because it's clearly obvious where the headlight is and versus where the driving light is.
Nothing further.
Anything else?
In neither of your reports did you say that that was an exclusionary factor, did you?
I thought that I did. In the first report, I showed it, and there's an exhibit in that report.
Show me in the opinions and conclusions, last page, where you use the word excluded.
I'm sorry, it's not there.
Thank you, nothing further.
Is it in your report?
That image is in my report, comparing the headlights.
What page are you referring to?
I'm referring to page 3, comparing the headlights from the McStay video truck with the headlights and the parking lights of the truck. It was image 0246 JPEG.
And is that where you made your comparison, as we just saw today?
Yes,
Nothing further.
Show me in that paragraph where it says excluded.
it doesn't.
Thank you, nothing further.
Anything else?
Oh, no.
Any objection to Mr. Sexton being excused?
Subject to recall.
To recall, of course. All right, thank you, sir, for your attendance, and you are excused. Make sure you don't take any of our exhibits that have now been marked as exhibits with you, and you're excused, and I assume council knows where to get in touch with you if you need anything else.
I have an unlisted phone number and address.
I understand. And then we're going to resume with Mr. Chauvin's testimony, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. He's on 10-minute call, so if we took a 10-minute break, he'll be here.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll take a 10-minute recess. Keep in mind the admonitions, not the form or express any opinions. See everyone back hopefully in about 10 minutes.